All right, welcome back, everybody. Orbital, the grand return for this season. Took a little bit of a hiatus, and now we are back. So over the next couple of days, Rourke and I are going to be discussing our takes on the NBA awards and the playoff series as they advance. All right, now this video will be completely dedicated to NBA awards, and we're going to start with Rookie of the Year. So, Rourke, I don't know if there's anything you want to say before we go ahead and get started, but obviously we're both very excited to be back.
Now I'm ready to jump right into it. Rookie of the Year, John. What did you think about how that shaped up?
Well, I was to be honest with you, I was pretty scared that Zion was going to win it, and I would think that'd be a pretty big injustice to the performance that John Morant put on this year. Obviously, leading Memphis to a 34-39 record, averaging 17.8 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. Dude was an absolute monster, highlight reel the entire season. Really showed a lot of leadership towards a Memphis team that a lot of people wrote off at the beginning of the season. What did you think about his season?
I thought he really was able to lead the troops down in Memphis. Everyone counted Memphis out. No one thought they had a chance to make the playoffs, but they actually have some pretty solid, good players on that team. Valanciunas, very slept on. Obviously, Dylan Brooks got that contract extension this year. They're going to be looking to really form their team around Dylan Brooks, Ja Morant going forward to be able to have a contending team. Also, Kyle Anderson. So they actually have some good players on that squad, but really Ja Morant was able to, like you said, really lead that team to a good playoff position in the 8th seed. They snubbed the Suns out in the bubble right here to really secure that playoff spot. And, Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't get hurt, then he, would have been a real, I think the Memphis could have actually made a little bit of noise there and trying to beat Portland to make the playoffs. But going forward, I think Memphis can be a really strong team, with those young core guys. But I do think that Ja Morant in general has a bright future ahead of him. Really, really athletic, like you said, consistently putting out highlights, but always made the smart basketball play. Was never afraid to give the ball off when he was driving and create for other people. So he's a guy that isn't just looking for his own shot, but really is trying to make his teammates better and make the right basketball play, which is why I think Memphis, another reason they did so well this year.
Absolutely. You kind of touched on it a little bit, the young core that Memphis has been able to build. And I think obviously with the Andre Iguodala drama that was happening midseason, and obviously that would eventually led to him being traded to Miami, who both of us thought was a great move, but really helped them secure Justice Winslow, another young piece that's going to help them build on the defensive end and on the offensive end, and even on a little bit of the playmaking side that Justice Winslow does bring. Now, I do want to also have us talk about a little bit of the competition that Ja beat out for Rookie of the Year, right? So Kendrick Nunn, a guy that both of us were pretty high on, was a finalist, as well as Zion Williamson, of course. Now with Zion's season, I think we can both admit, had a great showing in the limited amount that we did see him. Obviously showed highlight reels like everyone expected. Showed an ability to lead, at least from a performance standpoint, on the Pelicans. But obviously, I think we can both agree that should be more considered Brandon Ingram's team than it should be Zion's. But he definitely showed out for the season as well. What did you think of Zion's performance this season?
Well, obviously Zion came in with a lot of pressure on him this year. Unfortunate injuries starting him off plagued his season. I think he only played around 20 games. So he wasn't able to, I think, really settle into the NBA and find his rhythm. Of course, as soon as he's in the game, he's electric. You can tell instantly he's having an impact on the game. And obviously is making the Pelicans better when he's on the floor. I think that most people would say when he came back in the bubble, we didn't see him play enough because they were being precautionary and the Pelicans were kind of out of it. So going into this next year, it's going to be interesting to see how do you balance a superstar like Zion with being able to play, because obviously once out there, but his health and trajectory going forward. And I think that because he has that high potential, it's actually hurting his ability to get better now and, being thrown out there to try to improve because they're trying to be very precautionary with him. Kendrick Nunn, like you alluded to, very, very good this year. Inserted straight in that starting role in Miami. Goran Dragic was backing him up, and now Goran's taken over the role in the playoffs here because obviously, they're Miami is contending. And I want to highlight that I think Tyler Herro is actually the best rookie in the draft class. Hot take. Got Zion, got Ja. Ja is definitely going to be controlling his team. He's going to be posting the best stats, making the biggest impacts, I think, for his team right now. But in the long run, Tyler Harrow, he can ball. He is not scared of the light. You, as we alluded to, watching the playoff games, Eric Spoelstra is not afraid to give him the ball. And we see that with rookies, especially in the playoffs, being scared and not wanting the ball and not wanting to create plays. But he obviously wants to be out there, and he obviously wants to help his team. And that's great to see when you're under the most pressure right now, especially in plus. I mean, he's a rookie, and he's showing out. He's playing 30 minutes a game for Miami. And so Tyler Harrow, going forward, I'm telling you, he is going to be a star in the league.
Definitely. I think if he makes a big jump next year, maybe puts himself in the contention for most improved player. Depends on what his stats look like and how he impacts the team. Miami is a very deep team, obviously. Now, I do want to talk about Kendrick as well. So obviously you alluded to it. He did kind of take that starting role as a rookie. And then Gordon Dragic, obviously having some injury issues throughout the season, now kind of taking the reins at the starting point guard because Miami is a contender, like you mentioned. But Kendrick definitely showed out, and it's something that no one really expected him to do. Was not one of the most flashy picks in the draft. And so obviously anything you get from one of those players is really good, but the attitude and the demeanor that he showed is something that's very encouraging for Miami Heat fans. But I do think we can both agree that Ja Morant is the clear-cut rookie of the year. He completely dominated, and it was just, we saw him more, right? Zion, if he played the whole season, probably would have, whether it's a popularity reason or an actual results reason, he probably would have taken home rookie of the year. And that's why I think it was a little bit of a scare when we were waiting for the results to see, is Ja Morant going to win it, or is Zion going to steal it for just 20 games? And you take it back to awards such as Rookie of the Year when Joel Embiid and Dario Saric were in the running, and Joel obviously a much more advanced skill-wise and better player than Dario Saric, but obviously Dario, I think Malcolm Brogdon may have won it that year.
Brogdon did win that year.
Brogdon won it that year, but Saric was obviously in the running for it. But I think obviously the Joel, and you can even make that same case with Malcolm Brogdon and Joel Embiid. Obviously Joel is the much better player there, but obviously only being limited to a lesser role due to injuries and health, and not being able to stay healthy. But Brogdon took home Rookie of the Year. So, and obviously Ja might be a better player than Malcolm Brogdon and had a better rookie year, but you still kind of look at it the same way of someone who may be the better superstar in the long run is at a limited capacity and can't take home that award.